the South Florida Business Report, the only show in South Florida devoted exclusively to the local business community.
Well, obtaining business from government entities can be a daunting task. So coming up next, I talk with veteran South Florida businessman Paul Karch, who helps business people navigate the bureaucracy. And in an interview taped earlier, asked Paul what his company was all about.
Well, Selltogovernmentcom is the company we have, and what we actually do is we provide education, awareness, and revenue opportunities for organizations, small and large businesses that want to do business with federal, state, and local governments.
Wow. You know, that's pretty scary. You know, to any small business person just to say, okay, I want to do business with a government entity, any of them, you know, because he's saying, oh my God, I'm going to have all this paperwork, and it's confusing, it's intimidating. And how can I do this? And you guys come in and help them.
Absolutely. Right? And things are intimidating. And what we do is we help to minimize that intimidation factor. We help to change the offerings in some cases of the organizations. We help to work with those organizations to complete the appropriate paperwork, determine what categories they need to be marketing their business in, and work from there.
Just as an example, if I'm in business, and I've got a pretty solid business, I want to do business with, we'll say, the Palm Beach County. Right. As an example, and I say, oh, man, I don't know. They put up their website, a bid on this thing, but I have no idea how to proceed after that. And you can you get them in there and know how to play the game.
Absolutely, and it's really not a game; it's a process, and it's really the process that's key. And it's learning the process and learning the response requirements of these initiatives, then learning how to reply to the RFPs as they come out, the requests for proposals, requests for quotes, learning how to do the bidding, learning how to understand all the elements that take place.
The bureaucracy.
The bureaucracy is massive, and in a lot of cases. And you just mentioned Palm Beach. Imagine the federal government. The bureaucracy there is amazing.
Well, listen, speaking of the federal government, your background is working with vendors who worked with the big guys in Washington, D.C. Now, that's very important.
That's correct. That's correct. We actually work with small, medium, and large companies today and help them do business with the federal government. We help them go through the appropriate paperwork. We help them qualify the opportunities, and we will work with them hand in hand until those opportunities are secured. Okay.
Well, yeah. The important thing is you're there with them, not from just the beginning, but all the way through.
Absolutely.
Because all the way through could be very
well. It's all the way
daunting.
Through. Absolutely. And if you win a 5-year contract as well, we'll stay with them through that 5-year contract to help them deliver on that contract and make sure that they're living up to what they bid.
Well, so, how about getting paid from government entities? Is that kind of a cinch, a given, or we get involved with 120 days and 90? How does that work?
Well, if you're compliant in your paperwork, which is what we help with, then you're essentially guaranteed to get paid by the federal government. One of the things, I mean, obviously municipalities, there's some municipalities, Detroit is an example that, you know, obviously went bankrupt, but the federal government always pays their bills.
Okay, the feds. But there's some other municipalities might not, or some other federal.
I think anything you have to. It's like any other business. You have to. You assign risks. You assign a professional risk, a technical risk, and a business risk to every opportunity you look at. The difference is the business risk within government contracting is lower than it is with many commercial entities.
Okay. Yeah, I would think so. The feds pay their bill. Unless the government shuts down, you don't want to get one of those.
Well, that's an interesting thing, but you still get paid even after when they spin back up again.
Yeah. Well, listen, what did you do in Washington when you were dealing with the feds?
Well, I'm originally an engineer by trade, so what we actually, I used to design local and wide area networks, and I was in the technology space. But most recently, before starting Selltogovernmentcom, I was actually a vice president of business development for a very large defense contractor.
Right.
And we were an organization $16 billion in size, and we were doing business with the federal government on a daily, hourly basis.
So you really know exactly what has to be done.
Absolutely.
And dealing with the feds, at least, anyway.
Absolutely, and I enjoy it, and that's the other side of it. A lot of people would probably not enjoy it. We love taking our clients to Washington. We love working with the local clients. We like taking them, all the way across the board and educating them on what it takes to win this business. Because it's one thing for a small business to win a 6-month contract with a commercial entity. It's another thing to win a 5-year contract with the government, knowing that you'll be paid for those 5 years. And knowing that 5-year contract will be lucrative. And as long as you're compliant, you will get follow-on work from that contract.
Well, do Do you help minorities? We'll say the black guy with a painting company in South Florida. Does he have a chance to get a
absolutely
bid with the government?
Absolutely. We'll work with the minority. Well, we'll work with any of the. There's a number of socioeconomic designations within the government space.
Yeah.
There's 8A, which is the minority-owned, economically disadvantaged segment. There's service-disabled veterans. There's veteran-owned small businesses. That's a huge growing market right now.
Yeah.
So veterans coming back from Iraq, coming back from any Afghanistan, are able to start small businesses as a veteran-owned or service-disabled veteran-owned small business and receive set-aside contracts. So if they are a construction company, if they are a painting company, if they're installing boilers, if they're a technology company, whatever it might be, we're able to sit down with them and we will work with them on looking for contracts specific for their socioeconomic designation.
All right. Well, that's terrific. And on behalf of the South Florida Business Report, I want to express our gratitude to you and your company and what you do for the South Florida business people dealing with government entities, which sometimes, as we've said before, can be very daunting. Yeah.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Anything we can do to help.
All right. Paul Karch, thanks a lot for being here.
You're welcome.
All righty.